John Davis, absolutely one of the best.
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis doing what true crimers do.
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis.
John Davis, True Crime.
Mr. John Davis. John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis, True Crime.
This guy, John Davis.
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis, True Crime. Maybe that's where I've heard that name before.
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis, and it's good to see you, John. How are you?
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis, True.
Hey, John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis, True Crime.
John Davis, True Crime kicks butt.
Tune in and watch John Davis, True Crime. You will love it. It's one of the best channels on YouTube. Tune in. It's John Davis, True Crime.
Happy April 12th, 2024. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday, TGIF. Right? I'm sorry, y'all. I was prepared and ready to rock and roll, and then Jesse bummed me out right before the show. But happy Friday. Anyways, I think we're going to do calls today. Even though Lip Lock says I won't. You go one video where you say you're going to take some calls and don't make it to taking the calls. You get videos, posts, letters. I've gotten threats. Nah, not really. Sorry, I just want to fit in with the other kids. Hold it down out there, Brandy. Making a lot of noise off camera for somebody that's not even going to be on the show. Because she couldn't schedule around my 9 a.m. time slot. Easy, champ. On camera over here. You talk to your mom with that finger? Brandy not in a good mood this morning, but the show must go on. I have to open up the call lines. Oh man, before we do though, I just seen the newest local news update on the Sebastian Rogers case, and I tell you what, it appears by what the law enforcement's saying, they don't have squat. Nothing. That was the general. It was very discouraging because they were asking if it's a criminal investigation, and they're apparently not. It was just super discouraging to me because I'm telling you, if you heard this, let me see if I can pull up the audio to it. I don't want to get in trouble. But if you heard this dude talk. Here it is. Here, I'll just play it for y'all.
Call 24/7, ready to go when investigators contact them with new leads.
Hold on. I'll back it up.
Authorities say they will not rule out foul play, but they will not say that there is a criminal investigation into the Sebastian Rogers case. Why not? Well, I talked to District Attorney Ray Whitley about what it might take to perhaps make an arrest. Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville home more than 6 weeks ago. Since then, professionals and volunteers searching for the 15-year-old have found nothing, no trace. Have you found evidence of Sebastian yourself when you've been out there? No. So how does a teen with autism walking from a home barefoot in the middle of the night just with a flashlight disappear? Experts say children rarely simply vanish completely on their own. Could others be involved in Sebastian's case?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Though they certainly do have theories.
Absolutely no evidence. That was him, the sheriff.
Criminal investigation. General Whitley tells me there has to be something, physical evidence, blood, Sebastian's clothing, a flashlight, or security video, or an eyewitness implicating someone. But at this point, the simple fact is there's nothing. But that's not to say that can't change. And
There's
even Wade
nothing.
said he stays in contact with authorities, ready to prosecute if it does. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener says his crews are on call 24/7, ready to go when in.
I'm not going to play all of it. But that was the gist of it. That's mind-boggling to me. I don't understand how there can just be absolutely nothing. Explain. And see, to me, the most telling is if there's not some kind of video. That's what tells me something is up, man. How is there no video of nothing? Nothing. They have not cleared anyone. Mr. Chris said he and Katie were cleared. Yeah, they did say that too, though. They said nobody has been cleared. So, but still, the way they say there's nothing, man. It's like either they're holding out on us, which a lot of people believe they do, or this is really grim. You know, I think when they say there's nothing, that's just wild to me. Nothing. Am I the only one? I just thought it didn't sound good, man. And you know, I don't know. I 50% believe him, and then I 50% don't. I'm torn. You know, like I said, I think if there was something, I don't necessarily think they would tell us either. So that's my issue. The hotline's up. We'll take calls about that and anything else in the true crime genre you'd like to talk about. Phone lines are open. JDTC hotline 540-358-1101. Go ahead, caller. Yeah, this is Laura from Tennessee. Yeah, I just want to say Ziggy's. Oh, sorry, we lost the call. We'll sit here and make it all uncomfortable while we wait on somebody to call and not say nothing. In my opinion, it must have been planned very well. It seemed, well, you know, they say accidents are a lot harder to cover up. We got our first caller.
And to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How you doing?
John?
Yes.
Okay, John. This is Glenda from Michigan. John, I have a very different aspect on this whole case of Sebastian, and I'd like to give you my theory.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I had to make notes. I'm 75 years old, so I had to make notes.
Okay.
But this is the way I see this. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's start with the parents. Okay, their marriage is in trouble, and I believe their marriage is in trouble because of Sebastian, and that Chris was like set up with taking care of Sebastian. But you have to go back and remember that they are from the military, and they both have logistics specialists, is what they are. Okay, so when he was fighting for custody of Nina's child, Faith, I think the mother was so involved with that, Chris's mom, that she pushed that really hard because she wanted that grandchild. And I think him having Sebastian and not having his own child kind of pissed him off too. And I think he was a little abusive of Sebastian. I don't know how far. But anyway, their marriage was in trouble, and I believe this is all planned. This is what I think. I think that Chris's mom drove to Memphis, parked her car around the corner because hers and Katie's vehicle kind of looked the same. And if you notice where they're parked at, they were parked in the front of the lot where there's an opening where you can just walk in and out. I think she went there. She was the one that was on the phone to Katie for those hours, not Chris. I believe that Chris drove her car, met up with Katie after the restaurant. And I believe in the restaurant that, I hate to say this, but I believe in the restaurant, maybe Katie made him go to the bathroom or something, and she put something in his drink to make him sleepy. So she gets him back in the car, and he's drowsing off. She takes his shoes off because she knows that if he figures out what's going on, if he wakes up, then he'll run. And without his shoes, he won't run. And that's where the shoes come in at. Okay, so Chris drives, he meets her. Just a moment. Let me look at my notes a minute. Okay, the clothes he had on, I believe that those are the clothes he's missing in from the restaurant. Because I think the black outfit came from the fact that Katie was dressed in black, taking out the trash. So that's where they got he was dressed in a black outfit.
Okay.
So if anyone got a video of that, they would think it was him.
Okay.
I think that okay, now, you have to remember, Chris's mother is a realtor. I believe she has property in other places, maybe between Hendersonville and Memphis, okay?
Okay.
So he's in her car with Sebastian. Sebastian starts to wake up, maybe before he gets there, or maybe before when he gets there. Sebastian tries to fight him. That's where all the scratches come in at. Okay? Now, he drives to Memphis. His mom takes the car, goes back home. He's at the trailer. Nobody knows, that he's come and gone. 2 days after Sebastian comes up missing, Mom and them, I think it was all planned ahead of time, Mom and them go to Alaska, keeps them out of the media, keeps people from asking them questions, keeps them kind of clean and out of all of this, right?
Right.
So, and then I think that the statement that Chris made to Sebastian saying, if you want to find your son, go to church, might be a big key here, because I've always believed in the Summer Wells case that church had something to do with that child's disappearance. And I think that that's kind of where I got to on this. What do you think?
My only thing is, so what is the motive behind it? Chris did it because because Sebastian was ruining the marriage and stuff.
Well, I think that, and his mom was so obsessed with getting her own grandchild that she pushed him all the time. That was probably one of her big peeves with him, is that she didn't have her own grandchild, and yet here he is putting up as a special needs child all the time. You see what I'm saying? I think that was a big thorn in her side, and I think that Mom had a lot to do with it. And her being a realtor, she could have a remote cabin and God knows where. You know how rural Tennessee is.
Right.
They could have a cabin anywhere. What do you think of that? I think that, that missing 3-hour phone call, I think somebody was on the phone to Katie, but I think it was Mama.
I think there's a good chance they're involved. The circumstances I don't quite get it. I really feel like, they'd been together a long time. To go that long and have Sebastian around, and then all this.
Well, I think it came down to the custody battle at the end here. I think that they knew. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you because
That's okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't feel like
I don't think they killed the child or anything. I'm just saying. I don't think they killed the child. I think they got him get out somewhere. They give him away to somebody, some kind of cult. some kind of church group. I mean, God only knows, you know.
Right.
But I think that that's what this is about. He was pissed about his own child, and I think he was willing to put up with it until it got to the point where maybe Seth was going to take Sebastian, and he was afraid that Sebastian was going to tell stuff on him.
Well, I mean, Sebastian did tell stuff on him. He apparently reported for the case of the belt issue.
I think it was a lot worse than that. I think Chris is a very dominant kind of, military kind of guy that, everything has to be in its place. Nothing can be out of place. And now Sebastian's a teenager. He's not a little kid anymore. So I think he's become more aggressive and didn't like what Chris was doing to him and was trying to stand up to him and stuff. And Chris was not going to have it. You can't disobey me.
Okay.
And I believe that Mom and Dad have got, people are going on and on about this trash truck too and those lights. That is a distraction, I believe. I believe Seth is right. If it's a trash truck, they called around all the trash places. They found out that they do pick up their trash in their neighborhood at 3 a.m. I think that was all a distraction to keep everybody else focusing on that and not what's really going on.
You possibly be right.
Well, that's my bet. Everybody's worried about this 3-hour phone call. What if it was not Chris? What if it was his mama on the phone the whole time, keeping Katie calm?
Well,
that would give Chris plenty of time to come into town, grab that kid, drop him someplace, and be back, before morning.
Yep. Okay, well, thanks for calling and sharing your theory with us.
Well, thank you, honey. I've been trying to get my theory out to somebody here. I so appreciate you. You're such a sweetheart soul.
Well, thank you for calling.
And I love that about your show.
Well, thank you.
So you take care, John, and have a great day today.
You too. Have a great weekend.
And if I'm right about my theories, remember to mention me. My name is Glenda from Michigan.
Oh, we'll come back to this very moment.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Bye-bye. She could be right. I don't know. My only thing is I have a lot of issues with people when it comes to motive, because I have such trouble finding a motive that I really, really believe in. What kind of changed things in my mind, and it makes me, I don't think this was planned, whatever it was. I really don't. I think it was some kind of accident or something that went too far, because to me, if Sebastian reported the incident, then I feel like he would have told him if there was some kind of real craziness going on. I believe it was something that got out of hand, or an accident of some sort, and something happened. Personally, appreciate her sharing her theory, but she has some facts wrong. Well, there's a couple things. I let people get it out. There's a lot of stuff that is going off assumption and things like that. And, that's why I try not to judge too super harshly, because I don't know these people. I know a lot of stuff I've heard about Chris, and then I know a lot of stuff I've heard people say about Chris that didn't know him either. So I try to look into the facts, and the facts are the dude has done some very, shady shit, and a lot of people have said, he has a history of not being a great guy, and he's done some shady shit. So the fact that he acts like so offensive is ridiculous. Don't act like a victim when you've been kind of a not so great person to those around you. Let's just say that. And that's being very kind. So don't play the victim when, that comes up, because, hey, guess what? Your stepson's missing. 98% of the time in a missing kid's case, an adult legal guardian is the reason they're missing. 98%. I don't know. Yeah, they've been together 7 years. I still see it as weird. The phone call. The phone call is weird. You know. I don't see if there's somebody that I wouldn't drive in to see them that I would want to talk to for 3 hours. If I wanted to talk to somebody for 3 hours, I would be coming home every weekend, missing my old lady. What's up, babe? Been a long week without you. Let's snuggle, get some popcorn, go in there and watch a movie, catch up on some House of the Dragon coming in June. I can't wait. I'm pumped for that. Max drove a trash truck for years. He says that did not look like a trash truck. I tell you, man, I don't know. The video, I don't know what to make of it. The police really seem to want to discredit it. Makes me wonder if it's evidence or if it's just nothing. I don't know. I can't wait for House of the Dragon. Me neither. Me neither. Because it's the way it ended, it should start off with a bang. The new season, that is. What is House of the Dragon? Mello, will you fill my monkey number 10 in while I go grab some coffee on what House of the Dragon is? Awesomeness in programming is what I would start with. Pure awesomeness. Hope I ain't missed any calls sitting here jammering. I don't think I've missed none. It's from Game of Thrones. Yes, it's like a prequel to Game of Thrones. It's what happened 200 years before Game of Thrones happened. I'm not in love with prequels because, you know, a lot of the details you already know. But I haven't read the books, unlike many of the super fans. They read the books. I haven't read them, so it's all new to me. I know nothing. Everything's a surprise. I steer clear of spoilers best I can. Anyway. I don't know, you know, the lady could be right, you know. Who knows? See, and I don't know the facts of stuff, but I've heard rumors that the grandparents, Chris's folks, are flying to Alaska and all kinds of wildness right around the time. I don't know if it's true. I hate to spread a bunch of stuff that I'm not sure about, but, you know, things like that is weird, you know. I never watched one episode of Game of Thrones. I wouldn't do it because it ends so horribly that it just breaks your heart, and you spent like 600 hours watching something for it to be ruined on the last 2 episodes is the most heartbreaking thing ever. Gene Jackson says, me either. None of y'all watched it, huh? He works there in Alaska is what I have heard. The ending was so disappointing. Tragic how they did that. You know, they had like super fans offer to raise a charity to redo like the last season. Had like a GoFundMe going to build up money to try to pay the whole shindig to redo it. That would have been wild if that would have worked. I'm a crime and medical junkie when I do watch TV. You probably watch My Pimple Popper or whatever, Dr. Pimple Popper. That's what Brandy watches, that shit. That just is horrible stuff to me. I can't enjoy watching somebody have a bull on them lanced open and squeeze. It's horrible. Goes to call.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
John Davis, True Crime. Welcome to the show.
Well, hello, John.
How are you?
How y'all doing?
We're good. How are you?
Good. This is Bernard.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm outside with the dogs right now.
It's good to hear from you.
Good to see everybody in the chat. I saw that. Hey, by the way, there's like 30 people that haven't thumbs up, so hit that thumbs up.
Thank you. How you been? Good.
I'm good. When it was like turned out 2 days later after I quit YouTube, my youngest son, he called and said that my daughter-in-law had cervical cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, only 27 years old too.
That's horrible.
And they did a test or a procedure, and she's clear now. They did on the 28th. They got the test results back yesterday. So.
Wow, that's great news.
Yeah, so she has to go back in 6 months, but that was fantastic news. So.
Well,
Come here,
that's a blessing, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So, and they didn't have to do a hysterectomy and all that. So there's still a chance for more babies.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's always good news. Hey, I have something to add about the Sebastian case. I have my uncle and his wife. They have a foster daughter that she's SAS and autistic. And now she's an adult. But when she was young, they had to kind of lock the fridge because she would eat uncontrollably, and she couldn't swallow. Like she wouldn't. You had to remind her to swallow.
Right.
Now it's okay. I don't know how to explain it, but so she would do that, and she grew out of that. But I got to thinking. Sebastian going outside without his shoes. What if they put his shoes up every night? What if, for some reason I think somebody said that he had hidden under a neighbor's car or something once. So what if every night, because it sounded like he had 3 pairs of shoes. So, and they sat by the door, but what if he made threats to run off all the time and they took his shoes and put them up every day?
Well, I mean, what do you think happened to him then?
I watched Peter Hyatt this morning, and I agree with him. I do. I agree with him. I think that it is a very controlling house. I think that more than likely they threw away some toys that night, and he was very upset. And I think that they were on the phone, and the stepdad's a bully, and the mom seems to be submissive. So I think they did. I think he ran out. He wanted to go get the toys. They put the shoes up. He went out, and then he said, lock them out.
And then what?
I don't know. I don't know how many cameras are in the neighborhood.
See, that's the thing. I don't think anybody does, but that neighborhood is so nice. Those houses are so expensive. Yeah. It's hard to believe that the majority of them don't have some sort of video.
The lighting in the neighborhood is awful. What I've seen, it is terrible. I mean, hey, it's pretty crazy for such fancy houses for them not to have better lighting for safety's sake.
Tell Riley I said hi, Tina. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. So I could see. And the other thing is, yeah, see, that's a problem because I think that if he had an issue with walking in grass due to the ants, it seems to me he would have been running on pavement. And don't dogs pick up the smell better on pavement?
Well, my thing is, I feel like the fact they haven't found him is he did not leave under his own volition. I really think with the searching, they would have found him by now. I don't know how he could have got so far with no one seeing him.
I don't understand that either. I don't know. But the deal with her not leaving, other than leaving in the morning, they said she was gone 30 minutes. How could she have dropped him anywhere if he were in the car? And if he didn't make it home from the restaurant, then it would show up on her GPS on her vehicle and on her phone, more than likely.
See, that's my thing. It seems like to me that her alibi is either goes along with her technology or phone or whatever, or it doesn't. I feel like it must match up, or they would have some suspicion of them.
Unless, oh my God, that creeps up. Unless they haven't, because they're not saying it's a criminal case yet. So maybe they haven't gotten warrants to look at the GPS. Maybe, I don't know if it doesn't seem like they can just do that. Or if they would spend the time doing that until they start considering serious foul play.
Well, the police have said that they've been cooperative. So I'm thinking by that, they mean they've looked at their phones and they've looked at this stuff.
You can look at, what I would want to know is her GPS on the car.
Yeah.
Because if he stopped someplace too long, say she drove off after the restaurant, she drove off down a country road, got him out of the vehicle, changed his clothes, by the way, more than likely, and then dumped him and left him and just took off next to a river, that would all show up on your vehicle. It's not like they're driving around in 1986 vehicle,
right.
So that would all show up.
Yeah.
That is like major. That would be dumb if you premeditated that. That would just be dumb as all get.
It's a head scratcher, man.
So I don't see how that could be, unless she pulled up to a light and transferred him. But that's too much like some stupid Lifetime movie.
But why would she be transferring him? My thing is, I don't see this as a planned thing. He was going to live with his dad if there was an issue. They'd had him for 7 years. They've been together. Why now would they decide that when it looks like and Seth even admits he was getting, him, he was going to enroll him in school and all that. Why a few months before that would you get to the point of you wanted to get rid of him? I can't figure that out.
The only way I could see it, doing it intentionally, planning it, is she would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true. If her husband is about to leave her, and the big issue is her son being there, well, they know he's going to go to Seth, right? So that shouldn't be a big deal. But the deal is, this is a guy that's out of town all the time. He's a serial marrier, so he's fighting for custody of his daughter. So they get custody of his daughter. Who's going to be the main caretaker? Her. And she knows he's a slanderer. So she knows he's going to be out cheating when he's out of town, but she's going to be the main caretaker of that girl? I don't see that. I think there was a commotion. I think they got into an argument, and I think he did go outside. I mean, all this other stuff just seems ridiculous to me. Like the idea that he's been put in some church somewhere, or the family like coordinated and took him off to Alaska. That just seems like people are watching too many crazy movies to me. I don't mean to be rude. I guess I just am. But it just seems ridiculous for that kind of stuff, you know?
A lot of stuff is very unlikely, you know. I don't think they're holding him. I don't see, you know, a lot of these, there's no basis in their theory. You know, you got to have some kind of facts to prove something, and it's so much just filling in the blanks because of how you feel.
Yeah, I think the minute that Chris said he's a liar, my brain said, well, he doesn't know what happened to him, like where he is. But they probably did punish him by locking him out of the house. But they're preparing for him to come back to the house the minute you say he's a liar. That's what that deemed in my head. I don't know. It's too crazy, all of it. But there's no proof that the dogs didn't pick up scent. I don't know. I just hope they find them.
Yeah, I do too. It would be great.
I've been talking too long. Let somebody else call in.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you.
It's good to hear from you.
Become a member. Get your thumbs up, you guys. Support John and Brandy.
Thank you.
All right, I got to get these dogs in. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't know, man. Anyway, you look at this, I don't know. The premeditation angles, I don't get. I really don't. Like I said, I mean, Seth's even saying he's going to get him and enroll him in school and he's going to have him. I just do not understand why so close to that happening, you would decide you're going to do something else and get into that. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. You know, that's why I was so shocked when I first heard this, and then I heard, you know, Chris was stepdad. I for some reason had it in my mind they didn't know each other that long. They've been together for 7 years, 7, 8, something shit like that. That's just doesn't make sense to me that you've been around this kid that long, and then you're at this point to where it's known that he's going to go to his dad's after school's out, and then his dad's enrolling him in school there. Then you're going to make this some crazy elaborate plan to get rid of him. I don't get that. I don't get that. The only way that would make any sense is if there was a reason to be super scared for him to have to go to dad's, and I don't see that, you know. If anybody has an explanation, nothing I think is bulletproof. No theory I've heard on why you would do that and the timing of things. And it's also odd to me. The things that don't make the most sense are they don't have security in that neighborhood in such a nice house. There's no video evidence whatsoever. Apparently. The feel I get from police now, after like what I played earlier, y'all, that piece, they have nothing. Is that possible? How is that possible? You know, you first hear about it, you think 15-year-old, somebody got to him online, and then you hear, no, he wasn't really into that. You know? Then there's his no shoes, so it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense that he left willingly to me after the no shoes thing. And then when you hear, you know, the dad tell the story of stepping in the anthill, and he was really had a thing about it, about not having the shoes on. That there's only so many more options when you think of that. What are the options? Okay, if he didn't have shoes on, he didn't purposely leave the house, what else is left? She's saying she doesn't report any noises or nothing suspicious throughout the night except for the thud, but you know, even after the thud, she says he responded, you know, nothing, I'm going to bed, blah blah blah, right? So I have so many questions I'd call, but John probably hang up on me. I ain't gonna hang up on you, you can call. And if you're away as much as he is, according to them, he hadn't been in like 3 weeks, right? You ain't talked in 3 weeks. Or you ain't seen somebody in 3 weeks. You could have came in and seen them, but you're talking for 3 hours on the phone. That's my biggest issue, is the phone call. The phone call is part of the solution, in my opinion. If you know why that call is 3 hours long, you know what happened. Because it wasn't what she said. She tried to make out like she was studying and talking on the phone for 3 hours. I couldn't do both at the same time, period. So many issues with a lot of the speculation. So few answers. You know, and I'm not shitting on nobody's theory. Who am I? I don't know. I don't know any better than you do. But looking at it from the outside, it's a real head scratcher. And to me, it screams accident cover up. Got a call. Oh, shit. How do I not accept? Good afternoon.
Here.
Hold on, man. Let me turn you up.
Maybe I should speak more loudly.
I can't hear you.
Hello?
Hold on. What's wrong? Why ain't you?
Okay.
You're awful quiet.
I'm almost yelling.
Try now.
Try now.
There you go.
Mic check.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I was speaking rather softly at the beginning. How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. Confused. I tell you what, I'm kind of bummed after seeing that piece where the police act like they have nothing.
Well, me too. But if I may, I would like to take a moment to talk about something from the press's point of view in cooperation with law enforcement, if that's all right.
Go.
Hello?
Go.
Okay. Now, without going through my resume, just let me say that as part of my career past, I have been a television news director, as well as a field reporter, as well as a 6 and 10 o'clock news anchor at the desk. Now, without mentioning any particular case or cases, I just want to throw this hypothesis out regarding Nick releasing the footage from the, quote, neighbor's security camera, unquote, that Nick says was from the common area. It is not unheard of for a member of the press that has good rapport with law enforcement, which I believe Nick does, to, let's see, I'm trying to think how to say this. Okay. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that law enforcement had the footage that Nick presented on his show already, and they gave the footage to Nick, having him purposefully replay it the way he did, framed the way he did, with his statement that the camera was situated in the common area. Now, what would be the purpose for that? If law enforcement has suspects or persons of interest in mind, it's called a misdirect. That is the press, or could be, the press cooperating with law enforcement to throw off a suspect or a person of interest by saying that that camera is located in the common area. Because at that point, a suspect or POI watching that show, and if there is somebody that did something to Sebastian, we should all rest assured that that person is watching every single thing about him. Okay? So, they most likely would watch local news before they would watch YouTube. And it could be that a misdirect would cause a suspect to go, oh, well, they don't have anything on me. Look at those dummies. They're showing camera footage that has nothing to do with me, and it's from the common area. That camera would not even have picked me up. What I think could be is that Nick has cooperated with law enforcement in a misdirect to throw off any potential suspects in the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Merely a hypothesis.
So you're saying you think the media lied?
It's not called lying when you're in the press. It's called a misdirect when you're cooperating with law enforcement.
I wish my mom would have believed that way. She always thought a lie's a lie.
Well, you know, John, when I started, I said without mentioning any particular case, and I'm not going to, but I can tell you, as a member of television news, I myself have cooperated with law enforcement in order to broadcast a misdirect that makes a suspect think LE has nothing on them, because it can cause them to trip up because they feel secure. I'm not saying Nick lied.
I'm just
saying it's my hypothesis. It's just my hypothesis, a mere hypothesis, as a former member of television press. It is not unheard of.
Yeah, I could see it. I was joking. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I could see using them to also discredit it, to maybe make somebody think that it was clear and maybe slip up.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, sweetie, that's all I had to say this morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you for calling.
Except I do have a complaint. I have a complaint about the coffee in the break room that you made this morning. It was a little on the weak side.
Was it? I used like 7 scoops.
Well, okay, but 7 scoops is like for 2 cups.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I wasn't aware.
John Davis.
Have a great weekend.
Please, you too, sweetheart. And please give your beautiful wife, Brandy, a big old hug from me and tell her I love her, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Okay.
Lip Lock's funny. Former journalist. You speak like a journalist, Lip Lock. I can believe that. Lip Lock's a professional woman. She's been in the game for a minute. Still gets up bright and early. Oh gosh, we got us another call.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Go ahead, caller.
Well, hello, John. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you, Suzette?
I am good.
No.
Something.
All right. Should I mute this?
No, you'll be all right.
Okay, go ahead.
So, what do you think about Well, let me ask it this way: does it help a case when people are harassing the parents involved by standing outside their home, hollering, riding up and down their street, spying on them? Do you think that helps cases?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Yeah.
Me
either.
I don't think. I think their thinking is it's going to cause pressure, more pressure maybe, but I really don't think it works. You know,
Okay. I don't think it works at all.
I've never seen anybody bust out their front door and be like, damn it, all the picketing got to me. All right, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. I've never seen that.
Exactly. I have a great disgust for some of the behavior I see when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yes.
Because I don't think it helps a missing child at all. I think if you want to be boots on the ground, or if you want to commentate on what you think could have happened, or, toss your thoughts around, your opinions around, or if you want to actually do some searching, and be on the ground, that's all good. But I don't see what it helps for anybody to do some of the distasteful things that I've seen, and not only because it doesn't help the case, but it disturbs everyone around the parents, the people. You're not just disturbing those parents, you're disturbing neighbors. I really think there should be a law against it, in my opinion. What do you think, John?
I don't know. I can't be that passionate against it because the majority of the time, the people they're doing it to really are bad people. I just personally wouldn't. I just don't think it's successful.
Right.
Now, I don't think you should be causing a disturbance to other people. Like the neighbors and people like that shouldn't have to put up with a bunch of bullshit because they happen to live beside of a creep.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm torn on the issue.
Well, I just think it was a shame, especially like in the Quentin Simon case, because they had a sick neighbor. The poor man had to be, if I'm not mistaken, he was on hospice, I believe, and he ended up having to go to a home just to get out of the neighborhood because of all of that chaos and nonsense.
See, to me, I just think if you got that kind of energy and passion, you'd be much better off using your time and your resources and all that to be searching or helping in better ways.
Exactly.
There's stuff that you can really do to make a difference. If anybody really wants to do something, searching, in my opinion, is the best thing you can do. Especially if you're responsible enough, then we can at least check that box. We know it ain't there. Anything like that, I highly, I have a lot of respect for people that get out there and do it.
Oh yeah, and in Sebastian's case, so they've scaled back the searching so much, but they have covered thousands of miles.
They've covered lots of area. A lot of these cases, like Summer's cases, case too. They covered everybody, I don't think the search gets enough respect. It was an extensive, hellacious search undertaking. They've done it.
Searched hard for several weeks.
Yes,
they did.
They did, with lots of resources and everything. I really just think it's a case of they're either being hidden or they're not in the area.
And I would hope that's the case for all of it, you know, for all the missing kids, that they're either just being taken or they're not in the area. You know, you don't want to think the worst, of course. But Lord, I would want to think if the worst did happen, I would want a recovery for some closure. It's so sad.
You know, though, I think there's been a difference in the cases of Summer and Sebastian in the searches, though, by how much the parents have been involved. I think Seth has been a big help in as much searching was done for Sebastian. You know.
And I'm wondering, since Sebastian's mom and stepdad was like, you know, the law enforcement, you know, they encourage them not to go out and search. And Don and Candace kind of said the same thing, didn't they? That they didn't want them out searching. But I mean, I don't care what. Nobody's not going to stop me. I'm like Seth. I'm going to be out there looking for my child.
Well, that's you know, that's fact. I'm sure law enforcement does tell them that. But
yeah,
you know, I've yet to see a parent of a missing child get arrested for searching. You know, it depends on how it depends on how much you really want your child back, and it depends on what you're willing to do. You know,
especially if you know the area. I mean, I don't know. Especially if it's my land, I'm gonna search my land. You know.
Well, who's going to be the best at spotting your kid?
Right.
You are.
You know? I don't know. I tell you, it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's heartbreaking how long this has went on, and it's really heartbreaking the vibe law enforcement puts out.
Oh yeah. That, just like with Summer's case, they have nothing. They said they've scaled it back, and yes, they've said it's a criminal investigation, but that does not mean they have anything. All they have is about what we have, you know, a thought, a what if. That's all they have. They've come out and said that. That's all. You know, we have no physical evidence that, you know, anybody did anything.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I'll hop down and I wanted to say good morning, and I finally caught one of your early shows. You know, you be early these days.
It gets my day off to a good start.
Well, that's good then. I'm glad it helps you get your day off to a good start.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not much of a morning person.
Well,
you're an hour ahead of me. I'm still back here, you know. I'm an hour behind.
Yeah.
It's a little bit earlier for me. But I enjoyed talking to you, John, and
it's good hearing from you.
Jump down.
Okay, you have a great weekend.
You too. Tell Brandy I said hi.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Good call-in show this Friday. Wasn't it? Good conversation. Discussed the wild theory that I respect, because till we know, we do not know. But like I said, man, I think the best thing people can be doing is out searching. We need flash. I'm going to try to make sure I put Sebastian's thing at the end or in some point of every one of my lives. You know, I don't clickbait with Sebastian Rogers updates on everything I do, but I like to help spread the word. Hopefully there is a tip soon. We got one more call. We're going to take one more call today. Shit, I missed it. Damn, call right back. And I'll answer. I'm sorry. I was trying to do too many things at once. Tip line for Sebastian, 615-451-3838, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Tell you, TBI stays busy, don't they? Something about Tennessee's different, man. Kids go missing there. It's amazing. Here we go. Okay, I got you this time. I'm sorry. Hello?
Hi, it's JJ. I just wanted to quick thing about the protesting. When people, I don't know, the harassment and stuff, it's just so much a part of the times, you know. Everybody gets to express their opinion, and it's about a bigger problem. It's kind of because there's these institutions that they want to blame, you know, back and forth on, and I guess I'm kind of putting together a lot of different things in one statement, but just sort of people, they just have that passion because every day on social media we get to say what we want to say, so people go say it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's sign of the times. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it'd be nice if all the different kinds of resources that everybody talks about were more equally based and all accessible. And so when we have situations that we need to take care of our children better or have the access to those things, but you know, it's different everywhere. So we get upset about it, but we don't understand, you know, really what the situation is. But we understand that we're upset, and we understand that what you would do. You know, like if it was me, this is what I would do.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely think it doesn't help the cases, but it sure is frustrating because it wouldn't be me out there, but at the same time, sometimes it is kind of like you're just as upset.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be me out there.
A lot of people get really passionate, man. They really do.
I keep my cats inside because I'm like, I don't want to have to go through having to find them. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So
right.
Oh, thank you. The protesting thing does upset me, but it also has me just as upset.
Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah, have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. People get passionate, man. You know, I'm not saying all the. I don't know. I think it's a case by case example when, as far as for me, when it comes to protests, and you can tell a lot about people's actions, what their goal is. You know, I think there's good people that are just really passionate that do it. And then I think there's some people that do it for attention. You know, I think it depends. I don't really know, but I want to thank everybody for showing up this morning, and everybody especially that called in, become a part of the show. Everybody except for Brandy, who missed the show. She shows up now. We're signing off. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks to all the viewers, subs. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Costs nothing. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the thumbs up. I forget to say that. Smash the thumbs up. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning with all the juice from the weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody.